Vortex swivel thumb, strange screw, and it needs sharpening. This came into me today. Let's follow along and see what I do with these and see if I can get them fixed. Just a little disclaimer. Jay worked on these first and he said, nah, I can't get them. We'll send them back. And I said, well, let me see what I can do with them and I'll shoot a video. So here we go. This could be a failure, but if I can get them to work, I'll feel pretty good about myself. So if you're new to my channel, or you're new to scissor sharpening, or you're interested in shear sharpening, or any of this stuff, I'm Bonnie Megowan, and you're wondering, who is this Jay I'm talking about? Well, Jay is my son-in-law who does huge amount of shear sharpening, does a lot more than I do, and has been for, oh gosh, 18 years or something, here in Atlanta. He's independent of us, but it's my son-in-law, so he works out of here. So what he said the problem was, the reason he couldn't fix these, is that he said he couldn't get the screw off. It just spins round and round. Oh, I got it off. Maybe, I don't know what he's talking about. But this particular screw on this shear is one that you probably hear me ad nauseum if you've been watching my channel. It's talking about the square peg goes in the round hole. Well, this shear, I'll hold this up against something where you can see what I'm talking about. This shear has 2 round holes. And the peg, round also. See? So, how do you put it together? Let's see if I can get all the parts to put it together first, and then I'll show you. What it's missing is a washer and what I call a leaf-shaped clicker plate. Now I know I've got at least one because I've got one of these shears. I have a box. You'll love this. If you ever come for training, this is my secret magic box, and it's full of all kinds of weird screws that I can collect for you to take apart and put together so you have the practice. And one of them in here is, ouch, I wasn't smart, was it? You know, I tell people I don't get cut sharpening. I get cut doing stupid stuff like digging through something like this. Anyway, you may have to just trust me on it. I got so many shears in here. Oh, here it is. Look at here. See, one of them is that screw. And so that's the shaped clicker plate that I'm looking for. But I put it in here, so if you put the screw in on this side, that's for a left-handed hairstylist. Even though it's a right-handed shear, it'd be for a left-handed. Put it in on this side where it is now, see? That one is for a right-handed stylist. But this is what I give you for homework to do from one day to the next if you come in for training on shear sharpening. Actually, last week I had someone came for clipper blade sharpening, but he just liked to take things apart and put them together. So I sent those back to his hotel with him to entertain him. I'm looking through, this is my little hoard of things I've collected over the years. I probably have it on the shelf over there if I don't have one in here, but I'm just going to look and see what I've got in here. Jay came in and sharpened a few shears for me today. And I said, Jay, I'm really working on getting more organized. Does it look better? And what did he say? No. I come to the conclusion that I'm like, well, I hate to compare myself to Albert Einstein, but he was a little bit smarter than me. Even I'll admit that. But he had a very messy desk. And I think I operate better with a little bit of chaos. Oh, here, this is what I'm looking for. You see in here, I've got a lot of these little leaf-style clicker plates. I'm going to find one. shoot. That is not working. I found one to fit. So I was thinking maybe I need to take the leaf off of my training box that I showed you. But no, I want that for people to practice on. So I said, well, maybe in all of these scissors that I use for teaching, might have something. So in the little section when I'm talking about aligning the shears, this shear is in my alignment section. And this is from a local sharpener. And he brought this to me. And he was bending the handles with the handy dandy handle bender. And I don't know how he did this, but you got to look at this. Both of them broken. Now I could see one broken, but both sides broken. I guess he bent one and wanted to see if he could bend the other one. I have no idea how you would break both of them, but this is an ugly, ugly, ugly scissor. Believe it or not, that little tension plate, the little leaf plate, it fits. So I'm going to sharpen these and send them back, and they are not going to look pretty. Oh, but it does fit. I'm not going to put the little ugly jewel screw on there. Stick that in here. I might need it for something sometime. Who knows what. I mean, this is why I don't throw away anything. I mean, Jay makes fun of me when he comes in here because Mr. Neat, Mr. Organized, but looky there. That fits. Now, I could try to buff some of that gold off if I wanted to, but that works. Sometimes you can't make it look like new, but you can just make it function. So let's get busy and sharpen this shear. I don't know what's going on. Jay was sharpening here last. You see he's got it upright and he's got a coarse pad on here. Oh, that's his clamp. Hey, Misty? Yeah. Call Jay. He left his clamp here. He doesn't need it tomorrow. Oh, okay. All right, so this is good. Jay's machine is 17 years old, I guess. And so you may want to look at the difference between the old clamp and the new clamp. He likes his old clamp. He'll only do right-handed shears. They both function the same. They both function the same. But he does not like my clamp, so I guess he went out and brought his clamp in. The main difference between the new HD Cymex and the older ones is the clamp. And let me show you this. Now this is the old first, one of the first versions of the clamp. It only does right-handed shears. Then there was another version in between here that would do left and right-handed shears. The big difference is they both, you set the angle, they both rotate, they both are easy to use. The big difference is this one has numbers on it, and this just has, well, his just had dots. Then we went to lines, which are a little easier to see than the dots. But you can see what angle you're at a little bit better. And then I have this detente where you can turn this and move it up a little bit. So if you want to move up just a couple of degrees, with this one you would have to readjust it or put something in here, which my traditional thing is a insert ring that you stick in. Cut it in half, that you stick in here to bring it up. But as far as the quality of the machine, American made, if you buy a new one or used one, they both do a great job of sharpening, and they're both lasting long, you know, decades old now. So, but that's the difference between the two clamps. How come I get so off subject when I'm sharpening? It seems like that, doesn't it? Oh, let's get this one on the road and send it out, because then all my mail order, oh, I've got one more mail order sharpening after this one. So, oh, finger rest, finger rest. Finger rest, finger rest. It's in here. I try to do all the hardware stuff first. This is the 2.5, and then I have the 3. The 3 seems to be the most common. Yep, this is going to require the 3. And about out of the 3s. If you're ordering finger rests, you're much more likely to get the right size if you order the 3mm. But then there's a few of the 2.5mm, so let's get into sharpening. Put Jay's clamp there. That's funny how he doesn't like my clamp. It's what you get used to, a lot of it. So I'm going to take this apart. Well, let's see how it cuts. Let's see what we're starting with. I get so eager to get in here, sometimes I don't take the first step. So let's see what we're starting with. Nothing. Nothing. And that was even using pressure. Pretty blunt edge too. So I'm going to take it apart as my usual way. And yes, there's a washer there. Double checking the washer. Cleaning it. This was like one of the early swivel thumbs, rotating thumbs that was on the market. Doesn't look like any really horrendous sharpening. Doesn't look like any horrendous nicks. It just looks like it was done at a pretty blunt angle. This one came from the same person that I've shot a lot of videos on lately. He sends me some unique things. As I said, I'm hoping it's not his sharpening. I'm hoping it's somebody in his area. But I'll still sharpen it, whether it's him or somewhere else. But, okay, got a nice rod line. Okay, that's a good news. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good edge on it. A little bit wimpy right here. A little bit too much at the tip. This one might be a little bit out of alignment. But am I going to bend it? No. I'm not going to risk breaking this. I'll just make it work. So that made me rethink where the tips kind of wiped out and I was getting hard time to get a rod line there. I think I'm going to set it at 40 instead of 45. Normally I would have done this shear at 45 because it's a better shear. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to change that angle a lot from what it was. Bring it up sharper. See, I'm bringing this to 40. What you do? Drop your phone. Were they mean to you? Yeah.
And now these coaches are messaging me, wanting to know when she can come back out again. So.
Misty has a ball player in the family that all the coaches are going after her. Okay, this is a 400 grit Jay's got on here. 400 is too aggressive.
Are you done with his clamp? He said, is this his?
Yeah, that's his clamp right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said put another. Yeah, I knew he didn't need it today.
But
he was just doing sales today.
That was good because people have been asking what was the difference, and I was able to show people the difference. Of course, that's an old one. Old. But even if they are able to find a Cymex somewhere that's really old, Warren 800 is my favorite. It still operates well, you know. And that's funny how he doesn't like my clamp, isn't it?
Yours is too big.
Yeah, he
says
doesn't.
It's fatter. His is a little skinny thing.
Yeah.
He likes his clamp skinny.
He likes skinny clamps, huh? Well, we made this bigger to put bigger shears in, but, you know, I'm thinking if we redesign it, we may go back to smaller, because nobody, if they've got a great big scissor, honking scissor,
they're going to freehand it.
They're going to freehand it.
They're not going to use the clamp.
So I may, when we make another generation of it, we might make a little bit of, make that piece smaller. And what I'm looking at is I'm still seeing red at the tip. Which doesn't surprise me. This is the one the tip was stripped out. What I mean by stripped out is you've got a ride line going all the way across the tip. I still don't like the way that tip looks. this one out. And I have one more shear to sharpen after this, and then I might take the afternoon off. I've been working hard. It won't happen, but it's nice to imagine. Having the same problem with the tip here. Okay, I got it. Move my detente. I'm not adding more polish because I just did on the last shear. I don't want that to fall over on this. And clean the grit and the Sharpie off. The red marker off. Oh, that sharpened up pretty sweet. I was expecting more problems. Let's see how it cuts. So now, I have to guess whether this person is right-handed or left-handed. So if it's right-handed, I want to have the face of the screw on this side. If the person's left-handed, it's the other way. So this is one of the few shears that you can literally put this post in either direction. Now I had one right-handed person that liked having their screw on the other side because they kind of held their hand like this to cut upside down, and the screw would get in the way and get tangled up in the hair. But mostly, if they're right-handed, you want to put it on this side, left-handed that side. Now that doesn't look pretty, but it works. It functions. Function always over aesthetics. That cuts. Remember, it didn't cut before? Let's see if it cuts wet. Perfect. Okay. Who's the king of the sharpening room? Or the queen? I got one fixed Jay couldn't fix. Excited. And this is a screw that you need to know about. It's the Vortex 500, and this is one you don't bend the blade either. Hope you liked the video. I've got suggestions for some other videos you look at here, or put some comments below of things maybe you want me to cover and want to see.